Hey guys, ST here. So I know I was supposed to update you a little more recently than now as to stuff going on because I had kind of promised I would do one when I checked in when I got to London, which I did yesterday. However, it's been really difficult finding a place to be able to shoot a video where there weren't about a dozen other people. And I didn't think they'd appreciate me sitting there doing a video, talking to you guys. So I had to put it off and put it off and put it off until finally here I am doing the video. The thumbnail that I used for today's video is the breakfast that I enjoyed this morning. A full English breakfast, which was quite tasty. But let me backtrack a little bit so I can, I'm gonna do this. Oh, so I can rest my arms. So I can backtrack a little bit and tell you exactly how my trip went. So last time you heard from me, I was getting ready to drive to Atlanta to catch my flight, which I did. Had no problems with my car. Got to Atlanta, turned my car into the valet parking. Normally I would have gone parked, done a video, and then headed to the airport, but I did pick valet. So they parked it for me, which meant I didn't really have a chance to stop and do a video. I got to the Atlanta airport, checked in, got to take my flight, eventually got on a flight to Boston, changed over in Boston to Dublin, and went from Dublin to London. But let's see, the first flight, Atlanta to Boston, was by JetBlue. It was nice and roomy. JetBlue is now priding itself on having the most legroom in economy class out of all the airlines, and it definitely was nice and roomy. Had some pretzels. I stuck with a Diet Coke as a beverage instead of I like to get a scotch or something, but we were having a lot of turbulence and I don't know. I was kind of sleep deprived and I wanted to just be able to sleep and not I don't know. So I skipped an alcoholic drink on that plane. Then got to the Boston airport, and I looked around for food there. I was going to eat something, but then I thought, well, no, because, there wasn't really anything that said, ooh, Boston food. And I didn't feel like paying $10 for what was basically a concession stand hamburger. So I skipped getting food in Boston. Got on the flight from Boston to Dublin. Now, this was a much bigger airplane. However, the seats were smaller. Still had an aisle seat. Had an aisle seat on the first one. Still had an aisle seat. We were served an in-flight meal, which wasn't too terrible. It didn't really scream. This was an Aer Lingus flight, which was an Irish name to flight. I guess it's an Ireland-based airline. But the food that I ate wasn't really British or English or Irish per se. I did get they had a hard cider available in a can. I got that. I want to say that was a Magers. I don't remember. I took a picture of it too, but I'll have to. I'll put that to Twitter after I get done with this video. The first JetBlue provides free Wi-Fi on their flights if you are a JetBlue TrueBlue member, which costs nothing. You just sign up for it. So as long as you remember to sign up for it ahead of time, you can get free Wi-Fi on JetBlue. Aer Lingus did not provide free Wi-Fi, and I didn't feel like checking to see how much it would cost for the flight, so I just didn't have any Wi-Fi there. Had that food, had the can of hard cider, which was tasty. Claimed to be made with 17 different varieties of apples. I don't know, it just kind of tasted like apple to me. And then got on the final flight, which was also a tiny little flight out of Dublin. The airport was not great. Dublin airport, not great. Very long and windy hallways, walking from one location to the next, getting from one gate to the next. The gate that I left from, literally, there was some glass doors that opened out onto the tarmac, and we walked across part of the tarmac, climbed up a set of, it was basically a ramp with steps on it. It was a glorified, ramp with just stepping portions on it. It was kind of rainy, So I walked in the rain to get on my plane. Not in Spain, but in Dublin. It was a tiny, tiny little flight, tiny little plane. I had a window seat this time, so I was squashed in by this woman who, they're doing the in-flight announcement, you know, where they tell you all about how to, you know, if the plane goes down, here's where your life jacket is, here's the exits of the plane, all that. In the middle of this, now, I didn't catch whether she answered a phone call or if she made a phone call, but all of a sudden she's on her phone talking, not quietly, to somebody. Just, I mean, it's not even like, it wasn't even one of those, oh my God, Dad is dying type phone calls. It was just, oh, hey, how are you doing? Yeah, I'm on the plane now. I should probably get there whenever. And how about you? Did you get any sleep? Did you go out? Did you do this? Did you do that? And I mean, she's just talking and talking. And she's got her tray table down and her laptop open and up and on it, and just completely ignoring everything that's going on. And the guy comes by, you know, after the in-flight announcement's done, he comes by and kind of, you know, tells her she needs to put all that stuff up. So she puts the laptop away and, you know, closes up her tray table, but keeps texting on the phone. Like nowadays, they'll let you keep your phone out as long as you put it into airplane mode, which basically means it's not connected to anything. The phone's just on. You can't text while you're in airplane mode. So I know she's not in airplane mode. And I'm just sitting there like, okay, yeah, you rebel, big rebel. I don't say anything because, you know, I don't want to start a fight on a plane with somebody over something as stupid as that. So then the flight takes off, and it's only like an hour and a half, and I'm surprised they actually give us like a little breakfasty type thing. I'll also post pictures of that on Twitter, but it had like some granola with freeze-dried strawberries and a thing of milk, and they gave us tea, and there was some little like cinnamon roll type thing, only there wasn't any cinnamon in it, and the raisins were in there, not a whole lot of them. It was okay. It wasn't like the best breakfast I ever had. But at some point during this, the woman puts her tray table down and then like lays face down on it. Like doesn't put her arms up on the table to protect herself, just lays face down on it and kind of does like this. Face down on this table. And I'm thinking, I hope she's not having a seizure. And then she starts muttering to herself. At this point I'm like, okay, I'm noping out of here. I'm mentally just, I'm looking out this window. I'm going to enjoy the flight from out this window over here. And she can do what she needs to do over there. Because she was kind of reminding me of my youngest sister who, when she decides she's not having a good time, she just starts acting out until somebody notices and pays her some attention. So, I don't know. And then we get to London. And again, we have to walk off the plane and go into the, go into the airport. And now I'm in London. So, yeah. I got to London. It was about 8:30 in the morning. I had received a notification from the Marriott hotel line, my app, because the hotel that I checked into, the main hotel, the actual hotel, the Moxie, is through the Marriott. So they sent me this notification saying it was time to check in. So I'm just thinking, okay, maybe I accidentally booked it for an extra day. I don't know, because my plan was I had booked a hostel for 2 solid weeks, starting the day I got into London and then ending the day I left. And then for the convention itself, the Thursday through Monday, which are my normal convention days, I booked an actual hotel, which at the time I thought would be right across from the convention center, because that's how it looked like on the map. But anyway, so now I'm getting a notification on Wednesday saying it's time to check into that hotel. So I'm thinking, that's weird. So I go over there, and it's probably a good 10-minute walk away from the convention center. And I try to check in, and they're like, no, you're not supposed to be checked in today. You check in tomorrow. So I look at the actual reservation, and sure enough, Thursday was supposed to be my check-in day. So I'd gone over to this hotel for nothing. I'm like, okay, fine. I'll go to the hostel now. So I get on some trains. You have to take a couple of different trains to get out to the hostel and do some walking. And finally get to the hostel, go to check in, and check-in's not till 3. So I get to hang out in the common room waiting to check in. I have a bed in a room of 20 people, so 19 other people. But I waited and waited and waited, and finally I get to check in. And I'm nodding off because by this point I slept a little bit on the flights, but really not enough to have made up for not having slept the night before. And I'm nodding off in the common room, but I get checked in, and I go into the hostel room, and it's like there's a pillow, there's some sheets folded on top of the pillow. The bed itself is not made up. So I'm like, screw it. Lay down on the bed, take the sheets, toss them. I've got a backpack, and I got my purse, and I got a jacket, and that's all I'm carrying with me. So I put the purse and the backpack up against the wall next to me, with me between, them and the wall, or them in the outside room. And then I've kind of tossed the sheet, because there was a sheet and there was a kind of comforter type blanket. I tossed the sheet over that stuff, so it's not immediately apparent that all that stuff is sitting there. And then I put the comforter over me, and I went to sleep. Didn't bother making the bed, whatever. And I pretty much slept until this morning. Yeah. So I think I've reset my mental clock, so I shouldn't be too weird here. Got caught up in a bit of sleep. Eventually got up in the morning, went to the hostel, had a full English breakfast, as pictured on the thumbnail. It was quite tasty. And then I came back to the Moxie and actually got here at noon and checked in. And now I'm in the Moxie. And this place is really kind of weird. It's, okay, so this is the Do Not Disturb card. Yeah. And then you got a bit on the back that says, yes, please refresh the room. But that caught my attention. And then over there, can you see that? I don't know if you can see that. I'm going to pretend like you saw that. That's my closet. There are no actual dresser drawers. There's no bedstand table. This is the bedstand. Yeah, and the same thing on the other side. The bathroom has a shower head that detaches from the wall. Like a handheld sprayer type thing. And there's pump bottles full of soaps and stuff. Shampoo and conditioner, I guess, is what's in there. I don't know. I didn't get that good of a look. But it's all pink. And when I was sharing that info with my friends in the tech team, they're like, yeah, you got a hipster hotel. This is not what British hotels are usually like. Okay, so I just got the weirdest hotel. I went from my room at the hostel, the Rest Up hostel in London, 20 people. The shower I took was in a stall, unisex shower bathroom area, guys and girls both can go in it. The timer light went out in the shower area because I took so long showering. So I was in the dark for a little bit until I could pop out of the stall and, wave the light back on. And then, have my English breakfast, where I ate breakfast in a big dining hall with, 200 other people practically, it felt like. And then I go from that to this. This is weird. They did give me a welcome cocktail upon check-in. So that was nice. But yeah, they definitely say I've got a hipster hotel. But yeah, so here I am, and I've rambled on for almost 15 minutes now. I'm sorry, I apologize, but there's been a lot to update you guys on, and my London adventure is only just beginning, because I have only been here for a little over 24 hours now, and I've got so much coming up to do, and so much just unplanned. I guess we'll find out what I get up to. And until then, SD out. Bye!